All is well indeed. All right. Are we live streaming this event, Shola?
So what?
You're live streaming the event on YouTube?
No. I'm saving it on my own. Normally, I do that at times. In case one fail, I have one to go to.
Thank you very much.
So I'm not sharing it public.
Well, not a problem at all. I'd love the public to join us also. All right. Paul says it's fine. Pauline, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Kenya.
Thank you. All right. So allow us to move back to move over to today's class, and the last class so far for this, the last class, the last session. All right. Just give us a few minutes to give us your takeaways so far. What are your key takeaways so far? And I'll even be very interested in knowing what has changed in your business because of the training. Yeah, Cletus, would you like to go first?
Yes, reading, knowing more about the financial statement, very important point, yes. How liquid a company should be and so on, telling you how the business can run with certain funds and when not to go for certain funds. It's been that so far.
All right, thank you very much. Frederick, your key takeaways so far. Frederick, are you there? Are you there? Right. I think Frederick is not there. Frederick, yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yes. My take home is that good financial statement is a tool for good decision making for a business.
Thank you very much.
That is my take home. Yes.
There's a bit of background noise on your side, but thank you, Godfrey. Then we go to Martin. Key takeaways, key take homes. Godfrey, are you there? Godfrey, are you there? Well, I think we can move to Martin. Key takeaways, key take homes for you, Martin.
So mine overall is the importance of corporate finance as a whole for my business. I've learned about the types and sources of finance. Then the other thing, the importance of a good
my
financial
take home
statement.
is that now I can use the financial statements to interpret and then make informed decisions.
All right, was that Godfrey? All right, Martin. Okay, that was good.
So as I was saying, the importance of a good financial statement.
Yes.
Then also in the same breath, how to be able to identify risk and mitigate against that risk.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much. Godfrey, are you logged into two devices? Let's move on. Mohammed, hi this afternoon, and what are your key takeaways from this Access to Finance course? Are you there, Mohammed? We lost him. All right, Paul. Then we go to Pauline. Paul, what are your key takeaways from this course so far?
My key takeaway has been I think I've said it over and over again. What I've learned from the course is decision making on the basis of how your business is operating.
Yes.
You look at how your business is performing, and then you use that to make further decisions, either to expand, either to change the model of the business. But those decisions should not be made just because it feels like they should be made, It should be made after a considerate amount of time and assessment of what the business has been doing.
All right, thank you very much. Pauline.
Yes, Kenya. My takeaway is it's important to manage the working capital very well. As much as it's short term, it does influence the long term results of the business, and also to separate the long term and short term needs, and to be keen on the ratios, because the ratios define a lot. They tell a lot about the business, what is not visible on a normal day.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Pauline. All right, Thomas. Then last but not least, that will be Yakubu, who just joined us. Thomas.
Hi, Karina.
Hi, Thomas. How are you doing today?
I think I'm doing fine.
Yes.
I think the key takeaway that one sort of funding, because of the choice that I made.
Yes.
But then secondly, is the financial statement and the ratios for the eye opener for me.
Yes.
And then the last one that I have never thought about it is the insurance. That is the key takeaway.
Very well. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you very much. Yakubu, welcome. Tell us about your takeaways.
Thank you. My takeaways are many, but to mention a few, one, it has broadened my understanding of financial management.
Yes.
Then I also got an understanding of long-term and short-term working capitals.
Yes.
Then the other few that are so important that I have read a lot about them is the financial statement.
Yes.
And the factors that the business or company need to take into consideration before assessing a short-term loan or long-term loan. So what I can say for sure.
Right. Thank you very much. All right. Welcome to this final class. I think I don't call it the final, the last class in this series. It's definitely not the final one. And as you know, we've been handling, we started with insurance last week, and today we'll be talking about credit guarantees. We'll try and make this as interactive as possible. And so that's it, insurance schemes and guarantee schemes. So last week we started off with insurance schemes, and we said insurances are a method of coping with risk. And I hope it became apparent last week as we were doing the exercise on risk, that yes, these things are common to many of our businesses, and some of the impacts can be severe. So ask yourself, whatever you listed for in terms of these areas, the price risk, the production risk, the human risk, what could be the impact if the risk happens to your business? Is it high, medium, or low? What could be the impact if the price risk happened to your business on your financial conditions and your reputation? Don't forget that, financial condition and reputation. Then after that, we can determine whether it's appropriate to take out insurance. We talked about institutional risk, financial risk, asset risk, human risk, and production risks. So allow me to give you an example of how insurance premiums are calculated. So I picked this from one of the government, this example from one of the government agencies in India. And please just follow my presentation very keenly. In this particular example, this is an example of crop insurance. And like I said, I picked this from India. All right. So in this example, the crop that is being insured is chili, as you can see there. The crop that is being insured is chili, and this chili is being planted on 4 hectares, and the sum insured per hectare is 40,000. Forget the units to be dollars or whatever, but for now. So you can see how did they arrive at 40,000 per hectare? How they arrive at this figure? I think your mic is on. All right, thank you. Okay. So how you put it off? All right. So allow me to just go back again. So the crop, this is an example, like I said, of a crop insurance scheme. And the crop there is chili, planted on 4 acres or 4 hectares rather. And the sum insured per hectare is 40,000. This is India, so I suppose it's rupees. So how did they arrive at 40,000? One of the things you need to consider here is the crop. It's about the value of the crop that is currently there on the 4 acres. So if you take those two figures, you can see that the sum insured would be 160,000, which simply means what? It's beyond 4 hectares, and the sum insured per hectare is 400. Yes, Thomas.
I can't see your screen.
All right. Is there anyone else who can see my screen?
It's clear. You can see our screen.
All right. Anyone else who can see? Thomas, you may have to log out and log in again.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Is there anyone else who can see my screen? All right. Okay. So the crop is chili. It's planted on 4 hectares, and the sum insured per hectare is 40,000. That simply just reflects the value of the chili that is planted on those 4 hectares. So now the total sum insured, of course, would be 40,000 per hectare times 4 hectares. It comes to 160,000. So how do you arrive at the insurance of this crop insurance scheme? Now, this is India, and the interesting thing about the Indian government is that they actually subsidize a lot as far as the crop insurance scheme is concerned. As you can see, this example is taken from their Ministry of Agriculture. But for the purposes of illustration, there's an element there called actuarial rate, and it's a percentage. So I'll be explaining to you in a short while what actuarial rate means, but you can see in this case, it's 29%, all right? So when you apply the actuarial rate to the sum insured, you end up with 29% of 160,000 is 46,400. You can do the math as you move along. So now that is a premium that you're expected to pay when you have 4 hectares of chili, whose value is 40,000 per hectare. So that's the premium you're expected to pay. All right, and that premium is based on what we call the actuarial rate. All right, now in India, the farmer is expected to contribute about 5%. I don't know that that applies to your countries, and it's 5% of the sum insured. So what that happens then, if the farmer contributes 5% of the sum insured, it works out to what? 5% of 160,000 is 8,000. So that's what the farmer is expected to pay, and the government will pay the balance. So it will pay 46,800, 400 rather, and that's 8,000 that the farmer has paid. So the government will pay 38,400. So now, what I wanted to get from this example is a couple of things. When you're determining how much premium or how much insurance you're going to pay for your crops, assuming it's your crops or your car or whatever else you want to insure, a very important thing that you need to take into account is what we call the, first and foremost, this is weather-based crop insurance, and this is summer chilies, and then the insurable value is determined by the type of crop, the value of the crop, and the land under cultivation. Probably if it was sweet potatoes, it would have been lower. Maybe if it was onions, it could have been higher. Maybe if it was coconut, it could have been much, much higher. You never know. So the insurable value is determined by the type of crop, and the value of the crop, and the land under cultivation. This is crop insurance. Just want to show you how it operates. Now, the premium that you're supposed to pay for the insurance is determined by what you call the actuarial rate. And the example, the actuarial rate is 29%. Now, out of this amount, the government has chosen to foot most of the bill. That's in India, of course. I don't know what happens to our countries where we belong, whether it's Uganda or Sierra Leone or whatever else. And then I need to explain to you the concept of the actuarial rate. So when it comes to the actuarial rate, it's an estimation of the value of the future losses. That's pretty much it. Yeah, because insurance is about the future, not about the past. You can't insure the past. You can only insure the future. So the tool that they use to estimate the value of the future losses is what is called an actuarial rate. Now, in this particular case, you've noticed that it is 29%, which is very, very high. It means that there's a 29% chance there's going to be future losses in this farming of chili. So how do they do that? How do they predict future losses? Now, that is why they go back to the past. That's themselves. What was the problem? Let's go back like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, or 10 years ago. So they go back as far back as they can. And then by looking at the historical data and looking at the historical losses, they're able to come up with an estimation of the losses by gathering historical data together. And then once they do that, they come up now with what you call the actuarial rates that I've provided for this particular example. It could be any figure, so you don't have to tie ourselves to 29%. But that's the rate that is used to determine the lowest premium that an insurance company can charge to clients, a class of clients. So in this case, the lowest premium that the insurance company can charge, premium rate is 29%. And you can see it's pretty high, and that's why the government of India subsidizes this. All right. So now, due to changing circumstances, insurance companies have to keep updating their actuarial rate. But the point that I wanted you to get is that the higher the actuarial rate, the more premium you're going to pay. Yes. So in conclusion, two things. If you want to insure your crop, and this of course applies across all types of insurance, because that's what you're dealing with, the insured value is higher based on the value of your rather I meant to say, you should expect to pay a higher premium for the crop if the insured value is higher. All right. Of course, you pay a higher premium if the value of the crop is 100,000 and the value of your crops is 1 million. You should expect to pay a higher premium. But also, it's the actuarial rate. That is what will ultimately depend on, ultimately determine how much premium you're going to make. So when the insurance company looks back and sees the pattern of losses is pretty high, you can rest assured that the actuarial rate is going to be very high. And even if your insured value is small and the actuarial rate is high, for instance, let's just take the example of 100,000. Maybe my value is 100,000 and the actuarial rate is maybe 1%, which means that year I'm going to pay 1% of 100,000. But there could be somebody else whose value maybe is 50,000, half of me, whose value of a crop is 50,000. But that particular crop and that particular area has a very long history of very many losses. So the insurance will decide, I can't charge 1% here. Let me take it to maybe 50%. So even though the value of your crop is just 50,000, and the insurance company decides to charge to use an actuarial value of 50%, you can imagine you end up paying 25,000. Yet your insured value is lower. So the actuarial rate is absolutely important, and that is a lesson that I wanted to bring us to conclude the learning on insurance. I don't know that we have any questions and comments before we move on to credit guarantees. Any questions and comments? Any questions and comments? Any questions? Any comments? Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Yakubu.
My question is, supposing you insure your mango.
Yes.
We are into mango production, and mango takes about 3, 4, 5 years to start maturing.
Yes.
So how is it possible that mango can be insured?
Okay, that's a very good question. So for your kind of question, there are two areas. Then you can insure, for instance, when you're growing the trees, you can insure the trees against loss, especially when they're young. And when the mangoes begin to mature, then you can insure the mangoes themselves. So you have to decide what you want to insure. But that's a very good question. It helps to clarify.
Thank you.
Yes, it helps to clarify. Because I think when the siblings are young, you want to make sure that there's very low mortality, because if you have planted 100 acres, you don't want to lose any sibling. Because so in the early stages, I would suggest that the best insurance you need to do is to insure the trees themselves and the young siblings themselves. Then now, once the orchard comes into maturity, then you can insure the crops themselves. Any other question? I hope that answers your question.
Yes.
Thank you, Jacobi. Any more questions on insurance and actuarial value, actuarial rates? If there are none, just allow me to move to credit guarantees, which is our last topic for today. And hopefully we should be done in just about 40 minutes. Then we can do our final evaluation for the 4 weeks that we have been together. But we forgot to announce that we'll be taking our final evaluation today for the of the training for the 4 weeks that we have been together. All right. Let's talk about guarantee schemes, and I want to bring us to the definition first and foremost. Then I'll put us in. I'll give us a few questions to engage as we move along. So, what is a credit guarantee scheme? What is a credit guarantee scheme? It provides third-party. A credit guarantee scheme provides third-party risk mitigation to lenders. It's very, very important. To lenders. Through the absorption of a portion of a lender's losses on the loans made to SMEs in case of default, typically in return for a fee. What are we saying in this definition? It is a credit guarantee scheme. The purpose of a credit guarantee scheme is to protect lenders from losing on the loans they have made to SMEs. That is the purpose. It's a risk mitigation measure that lenders use, and as they use how it operates is that lenders use credit guarantee schemes to absorb some of their losses when they make loans to small and medium enterprises, and those small and medium enterprises end up defaulting. But of course, the lender is supposed to pay the person who provided the credit guarantee scheme to some form of fee in return for a fee. So you can see how the two ideas are tied together: insurance and credit guarantee schemes. So when a lender takes out a credit guarantee scheme, is essentially ensuring the loan that he gave to you against non-repayment or against default. So in case you default, the lender will go, and of course subject to certain conditions, the lender will go to the person who provided guarantee to you as an SME and tell them, Martin has defaulted on the loan that I gave him a year ago. As at now, the amount is $1 million. So please pay me back according to the terms of the guarantee. So the two ideas of credit guarantee schemes and insurance are actually tied together. So I'd like you to think of a credit guarantee scheme as an insurance against non-payment of a loan that you have taken. All right, my colleague tells me before we move on, we can turn on our cameras and take a photo. Then we'll continue with our next exercise. I'm going to put us in groups just to try and bring out the idea of credit guarantees. Just bring out the idea of credit guarantees. Let us see on videos. the video. Dr. Chido will not be joining us, but she cannot join us by text. We can see you. Cletus, Dara, we can see you. Paul, yes. Mohammed, are you there? Pauline, Frederick, and Talent.
Talent, Frederick, Pauline.
Cameras on.
Mohammed.
Talent, yes, we can see Pauline. Talent, and Pauline, you can see Mohammed.
Chido, Frederick.
So Chido says she's not available. Frederick, are you there?
Okay. I'm not sure Mohammed is here.
All right. Okay, we can take with our colleagues who are here today.
Okay, we can go.
Thank you very much. All right, now I have a few exercises for us, and I think we can have two groups, can divide ourselves into two groups. And the exercise.
How many minutes?
10 minutes. And the exercise, no. Before we go into the groups, I think we'll just do it right here. Just post your answer on the chat. And my question to you is very simple. I have 3 things I want you to guess about me. The color of my shoes, the color of my wallet, and the color of my trouser. What I have right now. I'd like you to guess that. So post that on the chat.
Please, what is the question again? The color of your what?
I'd like you to guess the color of my shoes, the color of my wallet, and the color of my trousers. Those 3. And then please post them on chat. What do you think? What do you think are the colors of my shoes right now, and the colors of the wallet that I have, and the colors of the trousers that I'm wearing? All right. So please post that on chat. And it's guesswork, so don't worry. Black wallet, black shoes, brown wallet, khaki trousers. Letter says my wallet is black, my shoes are brown, and my trousers are brown. Very well. Martin says my shoes are black, my wallet is brown, and my trouser is black. All right. Anyone else? You can post on the chat. All right. Yakubu says you're wearing black shoes, you have a brown wallet, and the trousers are. I didn't get that. Okay. Chido says my wallet is black, the trousers are jeans, and the shoes are black. Talent says I have brown shoes and a khaki trouser. Yakubu says you're wearing black shoes, brown wallet, and trousers are green. Very well. Has everyone posted? Colead, what do you think? Oh, she had posted already. Black or brown shoes? Well, that is very safe, Pauline. All right. Wallet is black and trousers are beige. Very well. Thank you very much. Okay. So let me know, how was this exercise for you? How's the exercise for you, Paul? Was it an easy exercise? Maybe that's what I should be asking. Martin, is this an easy exercise for you?
It wasn't easy per se. It was a lot of guesswork.
All right, very well. Anyone else? Talent, was it an easy exercise for you?
Yeah, it was just funny trying to imagine what you're wearing and just putting it up there. So it was a lot of guesswork.
All right, and Pauline?
A lot of guesswork.
A lot of guesswork. All right. And Frederick says it's very difficult to get your outfit colors until you announce it. I have a next question for you before I put us up in groups for about 10 minutes. What made that exercise difficult of getting the colors that I'd asked you for, about my wallet, about my trousers I'm wearing, and the shoes I'm wearing? What made it difficult for you? What made it difficult for you? Martin?
we had no data or information.
Just pure guesswork. Eh?
Yeah, pure guesswork.
All right. Paul says it was complete guesswork with absolute no data behind it. All right. And I think that's an agreement. Cletus says, because you cannot see them. And also, you don't know your wardrobe colors or your dressing code. All right. Very well. Yakubu, what made the exercise difficult for you? Yakubu, are you there? All right. Okay. But I think it's very clear. We all pretty much saying the same thing. Yakubu says, because we cannot see you, but it's difficult. All right. You're great. All right. So I want to give us 10, I want to put us into 2 groups for the next 10 minutes or so. And then given the same scenario that I've put across, I'd like you to answer some 4 questions. Then I'll post them in the chat. And I'll come round. Maybe I can give you 15 minutes. All right. My first question is this. With regard to this exercise that you've just done, what aspects would have made it easy for you to give the correct answer? What aspects would have made it easy for you to give the correct answer? Number 2, and a very important question. What if I needed funding that depended on you getting the correct answers to the color of my trousers, my wallet, and my shoes? Would you lend to me? Would you lend to me? Right. Number 3, tell me why. Whether you say yes or no, tell me why. And then number 4, if you're a lender, how would you cover yourself in such a situation? Well, there's a lot of guesswork where you have to go around, where you have to make decisions based on a lot of guesswork or very little information or very little data, like Paul pointed out. So I'm going to give us 10 minutes to actually, yeah, let's work with 10 minutes. Then we can come back and debrief together and then see how we can proceed with the lesson on credit guarantees, So I think 10 minutes are enough. So I'll ask Shola to put us in.
Sorry, can you confirm the number of
10
rooms? 2 or 3?
2.
2, good. So we can
2
go.
And for 10 minutes, yes.
So kindly join.
I'm going to come to your rooms and post the questions. Don't forget to select a group leader. Right. 2. All right, I think everybody is back. Right, so let's do a bit of a debrief now. Let's go to the first group. I think that was Pauline's team, and then the other team was Thomas's team. So can we start with Pauline's team? What did you come up with the answers to my questions?
So the first question was, what aspects would have made it easier for us to answer the question? I think we came up with, if we had some sort of historical background as to your clothing habit.
Yes.
If we knew that, then we would have somewhat come up with a much more clear and much more viable guesswork. It would have made it easier to come up with some certainty.
Yes.
As opposed to being completely blind as to how you behave in your clothing styles.
Right. Okay.
And the second question.
Yes.
The second question was.
What if I needed funding?
What if you needed funding? It would be no.
Yes.
Because the information itself is unreliable in nature, since it's guesswork.
Okay.
Yeah, and we cannot, especially in the business world, you cannot make decisions upon guessing, because then you have absolutely no clue as to how things would turn out. And in most cases, things will go south, or in otherwise, things would go bad. And if I was the lender, I would take credit guarantee.
All right.
Since it's clear that the person I'm lending my money to,
yes,
I can just say for sure or for much certainty that I won't get my money back.
Yes.
Yeah. So those are the answers we came up with.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's go to, I think, Cletus was in a different team. Or is it Yakubu? Was in a different team?
This group 2, right?
All right, Yakubu, tell us, what did you guys come up with? And thank you, Paul.
We were still discussing, we didn't finish, but what we have, just tell you what we think.
Yes.
The first question, we felt that what aspects would you have made it easier for you to give the correct answer? So we felt that there's no data concerning, there's no data as to whether the person, as to the person's clothing.
Yes.
And so if they were visible enough, I think that one would have been better.
Okay.
And then question 2, we also felt that they are not revenue based. So no, say no, you cannot give any funding to that person.
Okay.
Not sure of anything of that person.
All right. And if you're a lender, fourth question.
Then number 3, we also felt that the attire of Kenya cannot be insured because you cannot see, and so you cannot make any decision on them.
Okay. Very well.
So number 4, I think Thomas will come into
number 4. Number 4, I think we could not lend unless we have a credit guarantee. To be sure, because that's too risky.
It's too risky.
Okay, yeah.
Very well. Thank you very much. So allow me to move on. Thank you very much for your discussion. So now, what you people are describing is what in lending is called information asymmetry. Information asymmetry. And you notice that lenders are faced with this situation every single day. And information asymmetry simply means that the lender usually knows less about you, the borrower, than the borrower knows about himself. For instance, in the case of the example that I gave you, the exercise that we started with, to guess the color of my shoes, my wallet, and my trouser. Most of you got those answers wrong. Most of you got the answers wrong. Why? because you're actually not here with me. So you can't tell the color of my trouser. Most people got that wrong. The color of my wallet, some got it right. The color of my shoes, some got it right, some got it wrong. So that is the problem that is experienced by lenders every single day. The lender usually knows less about you and about your business rather than you know about the business. And now the point is this: the higher the information asymmetry, I'll post the word on the chat so that you can pick it up there. The higher the information asymmetry, the more risky you look as a borrower. Yeah, and that is one of the biggest problems. So the higher the information asymmetry, the less the lender knows about you, about your history, about your plans, the higher the perception of risk, the more risky you look to the lender. So the question we asked ourselves last is, how do lenders cover themselves in such situations? So it is correct. Credit guarantees are one of the ways they cover themselves. So I'll show you how in a short while. But the other way that lenders cover themselves in risky situations is that they make you pay very high interest rates, very, very, very high interest rates, because interest rate is like the price for a loan. Interest rate is the price for a loan. So the higher the information asymmetry, the bigger the perception of risk, the more I'll charge you for the loan if I was a lender. The other way they cover themselves is by asking for collateral. They'll say, we'll not lend you money until you give us your piece of land or your house as a security for the loan. And the third way they cover themselves is through what we call short-term lending. They give you the money today, but they expect you to pay in just about a week's time. Because the longer the lending period, the greater the risk of default. So there are some of the ways that they cover themselves by charging you very expensive interest for your loans, by asking for collateral, and by using short-term lending. But the subject matter for today, of course, is by using credit guarantees. So my question is, how do credit guarantees work? So we spend about 5-10 minutes there, and then we can wrap it up and do our evaluation for the course. Right? How do credit guarantees work? So how do they function? So in this, can you all see my screen? Shala, is my screen clear?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, you can see it. All right.
It's very clear.
It's very clear. Okay, great. So in this case, you can see there's a SME, and who pays what is called a guarantee commission. And then there's a state. Usually guarantee schemes, credit guarantee schemes that are targeting small and medium enterprises. They are usually run by the state, by the government. All right. So what does the state do? It provides what is called a counter guarantee, and then you have a guarantee scheme. So you can see it's pooled resources. So the SME pays a guarantee commission to the guarantee scheme, and the state contributes financial support. It provides a legal environment, you like legal support, and it provides what is called a counter guarantee. In other words, the guarantee scheme. All right, so the guarantee scheme, who actually benefits? It's the private banks. So the guarantee scheme will provide guarantee coverage to private banks. So you can see the SME provides a guarantee commission. The state sets up the guarantee scheme and provides financial support. In other words, funds the guarantee scheme. And now the guarantee scheme, who is a customer of the guarantee scheme? It is not the SME. That's what I want you to get. The customer of the guarantee scheme is not the SME. The customer of the guarantee scheme is a bank. So the guarantee scheme provides guarantee coverage to the bank, and then the bank is actually able to give the SME the loan, and then the SME pays the loan. Now, if the SME is unable to pay for some reason or another, the bank will not go for the SME, they'll go for the guarantee scheme and say, Kirenya borrowed $1 million from us and he was covered by your guarantee scheme. So what you need to do is, because he has failed and we prove that he has not paid the loan for the last 1 year, so you need to pay us the balance of the loan that was left at that particular time. So that is how guarantee schemes work, or credit guarantee schemes work. Do you have any questions on that? And I'll show you an example that I came across just the other day. Do you have any questions? And the example is the African Guarantee Fund. So the African Guarantee Fund provides loan guarantees to banks, and then the banks will lend to provide loans to SMEs. So you can see the whole thing about the credit guarantees is supporting lending to small and medium enterprises, what we call SMEs. Now, the bank, of course, the SME will pay the interest and the loan to the bank, and then after that, the bank pays the guarantee fees to African Guarantee Fund. So that is the way the African Guarantee Fund works. But you can see there are three parties here. There's a guarantee fund, there is a bank, and there's a small and medium enterprise. And the purpose of the loan guarantee fund is to encourage the bank to lend to small and medium enterprises. That is the purpose of guarantee funds. And I've alluded to the problems that we face. Why is it necessary? Why is it necessary to set up guarantee funds? I said the first objective is to cushion the risk of lending to borrowers that don't meet lenders' requirements, especially collateral and record of accomplishment and managerial capacity. All right, so very many SMEs are not properly run, they probably don't have good records, but they could be good businesses. So that's the purpose of credit guarantee schemes, is to cushion banks from the risk of lending to such borrowers who are risky. And then the other point is many small, medium enterprises don't have collateral. They don't have records, they don't have financial statements, and they can't even say, they can't even give historical data. So when you show up with a lender with such huge risks, the lender is totally unwilling to lend to you. So the only way a lender can lend to a risky borrower, I've identified, I said, is by charging you a lot of interest or by asking for collateral, which maybe you don't have. But the only other way is by taking out a guarantee, is working with a credit guarantee scheme. So the purpose really of credit guarantee schemes is to incentivize lenders to extend credits to people like you, to lending, to extend lending to borrowers like yourselves, or certain segments that are important for the government. And how they do that is by cushioning the risk of the lender, of the bank, lending to you. So that is how credit guarantee schemes work. Any questions so far? Any questions and comments? Any questions and comments?
Grinya.
Go ahead, Thomas.
I have a comment.
Yes.
In a practical way,
yes.
How do one access that? Because like in Kenya, how do you access that?
All right. Okay, because I have a Kenyan audience here, actually the government of Kenya has a credit guarantee scheme with Absa Bank, with NCBA, like 7 banks. They have such a scheme, and it was set up during COVID. I don't know about the governments of Uganda, I don't know about the governments of Ghana, and I don't know about Zimbabwe, because I know we are represented here in Sierra Leone. But we do have such a credit guarantee scheme that is sponsored by the government of Kenya. And then maybe they work through 7 banks. Yes, Martin.
Oh, sorry. A follow-up question. I know DTB have the same arrangement.
Yes.
With the Kenyan government, but
yes.
They still require a few things that probably like collateral.
Okay. All right.
So
that's yes. Go ahead, Martin.
And the reason being that when as an SME, I fail to pay.
Yes.
The Kenyan government will ask them, what was the onboarding process? Did you do your KYC?
Yes.
So
some
of commercial banks still ask for these requirements that for SMEs is usually a tall order.
Okay. Very well. I agree with you, Martin. Yes. So the fact that you have a credit guarantee doesn't mean that the bank is going to be slack in maybe the lending process and in the credit appraisal process. It doesn't mean that the bank is going to be slack. Remember, the guarantee kicks in when you default, not before.
Yes.
Yes. When you default on your loan, that's when it kicks in. But also in credit guarantee schemes, generally speaking, they want to know if Martin failed to pay the $100,000 we lent to him 2 years ago, what process did you follow to try and recover the money? So they'll also want to know what process that the government took, the bank took to recover the money. So only then do they come back and say, I think you did the right thing, here's your money. But the other thing that you need to note is sometimes the guarantee may not cover the full amount of your loan. Yes, it may not cover the full amount of your loan. Like the example I gave for African Guarantee Fund, it only covers 50%. It only covers 50% of the loan.
The Kenyan government also covers 50%.
50%.
Not 100.
Yeah, they don't cover 100%. Yes. A very nice, very good discussion right there, Martin. Any more questions and comments? Because this is an important discussion for as far as access to finance is concerned. This is actually about access to finance and trying to overcome the perception of risk and what we call information asymmetry. Any more questions and comments? Any more questions and comments? All right, Pauline raised her hand. Go ahead, Pauline. Let's give you a question, Pauline.
Yes, in line with the example you had given from India, where the government is able to subsidize the insurance premium by a very huge percentage. Does it work in the same way when it comes to credit guarantee? Because I think governments have more options in terms of securing agribusiness or MSMEs going beyond the credit guarantee. Wouldn't that make the loan less risky, or more, the exposure would be reduced? I'm just trying to think in a layman's language.
Okay, thank you very much, Pauline, for the question. What is important, there's a slight difference between the insurance and even though they look alike, there's a slight difference between insurance and credit guarantees. So credit guarantees only apply when you have borrowed. So somebody comes to say, if Pauline doesn't pay and you have followed the procedures, I will refund maybe 50% of what she owes you. In the case of insurance, the government is actually subsidizing the premium. So in case maybe that if that was your farm, if that was your chilies farm, and maybe something happened to the weather and it was flooded and you lost money, first and foremost, you're going to be paid back the insured value. And then secondly, the government of India, in this particular case, I don't know if it happens in governments across the world, but I know India is very sensitive about food security, especially things like chilies and those other things for their own reasons, I guess. They're very sensitive about that. So they say, we're going to cover most of your premium, but when the loss happens, you go to the insurance company and they refund you. But of course, they will not refund you the total sum insured of 106 or whatever figure you insured. There's some in insurance called loss adjustment. You want to see what are the circumstances. There's something called loss adjustment. So, Pauline, I think what I'm trying to say is credit guarantees are about borrowing, and insurance is about risk. So we need to distinguish the two of them. Although somewhere at the back they are alike because they're both about risk either way. So one is borrower's risk, and then the other one is the risk of the SME incurring a loss in the normal course of business. I don't know if that made sense, Pauline.
Yeah, noted. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Any more questions on either insurance or credit guarantees? Any comments? Because I think right now, on my part, I think I'm done. We've come to the close of the two topics. So if there are no questions and comments, I want to hand over to Shola so that we can move on to take our evaluation for the course. Shola, are you there? Yes, you are.
I'm there, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure for 4 weeks, we have been dealing extensively with corporate financing, and access to funding. It's just to excite you or to stimulate you on the need to get yourself equipped in these areas. And I'm sure the materials you have, the stimulation you receive from Korea and myself, the videos, the exercises, should actually prompt you to go for more depth on this area so that we can all take advantage of the opportunities that are there, so that at the end, our business can grow and be able to do something better. And like we said before, the essence of this training is beyond certificate. We want to see transference of knowledge from us to you and to your business. And we want to see your businesses taking advantage of the European Union market and even the Asian market and the local market also, so that at least this industry can grow. So thank you for being with us for the 4 weeks. I'm sure we look at our evaluation, which should take us about 30 minutes. Then we'll come back here again. But once again, before we go, can you put on your video again, please? I'm going to share the link to the evaluation on the chat. But before we do that, can you please put on your video? Thank you, Thomas, Mohammed, Pauline, Shadow, Lettuce, Godfrey. Godfrey, thank you, Shadow. Cletus, I just put on your video for about a minute or two. Cletus, thank you, Cletus. Godfrey?
I lost connection. I don't know what is going on now. I'm just logged in. So.
Okay. Is Mohammed around?
Mohammed has not been around. Thomas, can you put on your video? Okay, good. We can see you. Thomas has 2 videos now. Okay, thank you. I'll send the link to it on the chat. So click, I'm going to share it, and I probably take us through it. Sorry, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. I can see it.
I can see the screen.
Just that it's still blurred.
It's
blurred.
It's a bit blurred though, because I think
when you
bandwidth issues.
Yeah, but click on that link. It will take you to what do you think of your training. It will take you there. So it's not my screen you ought to look at, it's more of yours. I'm only sharing this one with us. Are you there? If you are there, yes. You can just type yes. Okay, Cletus is there. Who again is there? Shido, are you there? Pauline, Godfrey? Okay, Paul is there, thank you. Godfrey? Yakubo?
I'm here now.
Okay, good. I'll share the link again. By the time you get there, you possibly see what do you think, and you will see the ratings. You can see the first one on the left is very unsatisfied. The second one, unsatisfied. The third one in the middle, neutral. The fourth one, satisfied. The extreme one on the right is very satisfied. So you can see the first question. Are you generally satisfied with this training? Not this session now, this training. If you are very satisfied, click the one on the extreme right. If I say, oh, I'm not satisfied at all, I'm very unsatisfied, the one on the extreme left. The essence of it is that we want to measure the evaluation of this training, whether it actually accomplishes purpose.
Okay, please.
Question 2.
Can you explain question 2? Can you explain question 2 for me? Satisfied,
question
not satisfied?
2.
Yeah.
It's still the same narration.
Okay.
Extreme right is very satisfied. Extreme left is very unsatisfied. So for question 2, we are breaking them down. What is your level of satisfaction with this program? Overall level of satisfaction with the program. If you click it, it will just go. The second one, the duration, is like, oh, it's 4 weeks, okay. Oh, we need 8 weeks. Maybe, okay, we are satisfied. Maybe the second one on the right. The subject and the team covered. Look at the 4 modules. Is it adequate? Presentation. Look at the slides, the platform, the interaction, then the exercises and practical work proposed. Those are the quizzes, the assignment, the group work. Are they relevant? You read them also. Balance between theory and practice. Is it just paperwork, or is it relevant to our work, day-to-day activities? If it's very, very relevant, click the one on the right. Alternation between synchronous and asynchronous. That's maybe what you are doing on your own and what you are doing during the Zoom meeting. Are they actually related? Do they flow into each other? Adequacy between the volume of content and duration of the training. Is the volume too much or adequate or too small? Any question?
My question is, number 1, I try to shade, but I can't shade.
Just take your cursor, there are 5 cycles.
Yeah.
If you want to click the last one, just click the last one.
Okay.
It will show you blue. If you want to click the middle one, just click the middle one. It will show you blue.
Oh, okay.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, good. Any other question?
It's not done. No. I'm still facing the same. Yes, I'm still facing the same problem for question 1. Learner's satisfaction form. Yes. The learner's satisfaction form. I was trying to. I don't know if you can see my screen.
No, except you share your screen, I won't know your screen. I won't see your screen.
Okay.
What is it that after you click the 0, those cycle?
Yes.
It's not changing?
It's not changing. It's only question 1. But I'll come back to it.
Okay, you can come back to it. Because I'm working on it here and I see it changing.
Is everyone else having similar challenges, or they're all okay? They're all okay.
Hello, I lost contact, so I don't know where we are now.
Yakubu?
Yes.
Yeah, we are doing the evaluation. And I'm sending the link to the platform again, so you can just log in to go there. And when you have logged in, let me know so that I can give some little of explanation in case you need. Dr. Shido, are you okay?
Frederick, have you caught on? Frederick, are you there?
Hello.
Yakubu, are you okay now?
Yes, I'm okay.
Do you need any help in terms of explanation?
Not yet.
Okay. So those 5 circles are there. Extreme right is like say 5. Extreme left is like say 1. So you can grade it. Just click that circle. It will turn to blue. Then you move to the next one. Godfrey, are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. I was filling the questionnaire.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
Right, so please confirm this is the same questionnaire that is on the platform?
No. Which platform? On the Moodle platform?
Excellent. Which platform are you referring to?
No, I'm referring to the module platform.
Yes, it's the same one,
is it the same?
Yes, the same one.
Okay.
And say REC 002 TRN B00 learner satisfaction form.
Okay, that's fine because I completed it earlier on the module platform.
Okay.
Wait. Perfect.
Having completed the 9 questions, you can now click Submit Questionnaire. If you are true, you can just type in you are true so that you can move ahead.
Okay, I'm true. So I've just sent you a message through the chat.
Thank you. Let's just wait for others.
This is true. Anyone else? Unless this is done.
Okay, Paul is done. Thomas is done. Jacob is done.
Also, Godfrey. Okay.
Godfrey is done too.
Pauline is also done.
Pauline. Top talents. So that you can move ahead. Talents. Martin. Okay, Martin is done.
Yeah, I saw that.
Talent, are you true?
Not yet. I was wanted to confirm, is it not the same one that I completed on the module platform?
No, what we gave is the same, it's on the module platform. That's why we gave you the link.
Okay.
The link should take you to the module platform directly.
Talent, are you saying you had filled this form earlier?
Yes, I filled it already.
Oh,
let me check it.
If you can please check.
Okay, Talent, yeah, you have filled it already. I've seen it.
Okay, thank you.
So I think partially what is there. Savior has filled it. Godfrey has filled it. Cletus, Paul, Thomas, Shido, Martin, Pauline. No, sorry, Pauline. I can't see your name there. Pauline.
Yeah. Yes, you can see.
Yeah, it's like we are not submitted.
Okay, let me check.
Check, we have not submitted. I have Savior, Godfrey, Cletus, Paul, Thomas, Shido, Martin, Talent.
How about mine? My name is not mentioned.
The names I have here are Savior, Godfrey, Cletus, Paul, Thomas, Shido, Martin, Talent. Those are the ones that have registered, submitted.
So Yakubu, have you submitted, and Pauline, have you clicked on submit?
Yakubu is not yet here. Pauline is not yet here.
Yes, I have submitted, and it was even acknowledged that questionnaire submitted. So just trying to come back and do it.
Let me refresh to see. Okay, I've seen Pauline now. I've seen Mohammed. Okay, let me just go through this now. After refreshing, Yakubu is there.
Okay.
Savior is there. Godfrey is there. Cletus is there, Paul is there, Pauline is there, Thomas is there, Shido is there, Martin is there, Talent is there, Mohammed is there. I think that's all. Is there anyone, any person I've not mentioned? This is our name.
Mention everyone who's there.
Sorry, Kriya, you said something?
Sorry, I think you mentioned everyone who's there. Unless you want to run through the list again. Yes.
Sure, we can come back now. Okay. In case there's any question. Dr. Shido, I saw your comment. Let me just throw it open that participants should be allowed to write the case studies. It will be a bit challenging because the case studies go through a process that has to be approved by a number of people. It has to be in line with the content, with what we are doing, and that it is actually relevant to the training. The best that can actually happen during training session, you can ask your questions and facilitators and other participants will respond to it. But for you to write a case study, you might probably not be a content expert to be able to write something that is relevant to the whole group. My own advice is that when you have questions that are relevant to what we are handling, bring it up during the discussion. Not just this training alone, even in other trainings. I don't know whether you have any addition to that one.
An agreement.
I would also want to comment though. I'm sorry I am moving, but the training should be able to meet our needs. If we are doing a course on access to finance, there are issues which need to be addressed. You know, like the calculations which you gave us, there are some calculations which are required when we are writing our projects. So if that calculation is not included in the training, we should have a platform to be able to ask questions and to be able to deal with such things so that the course is more relevant. If the course is just like a straight jacket, it ceases to be as effective as it is. That's my feeling still. There should be flexibility to be able to ask questions related to that subject, whereby a participant is giving maybe their own scenario at their company and it is dealt with. So if you just do a course which is a straight jacket, it becomes very useless. I'm sorry to say this. This course should be relevant to my situation, to the other participants' situation. So we should have that flexibility for you to be able to listen to what we are tackling. If it means that you need to come up with another training that addresses that, then it's okay. But you cannot say then you don't ask the questions and you don't give the platform to do that. Although I might have said it's like a case study, you are giving a personal scenario. Like in this case, I'm working on our presentation for our project where we are wanting to access funding. My document was returned with certain calculations which needed to be added onto that document. So I thought that this training was going to be able to give me an opportunity to be able to do those calculations. So here we are, we have to go and pay somebody to do those calculations for us because I still can't do them because we have not addressed that.
Okay. So, Dr. Chidi, your concerns are very valid, but what you're asking for is not a course, it's actually coaching. And it's still a valid request, but this is more of training. What you're really asking for is coaching regarding very specific issues. Then in that case, it's still a valid request. but it's out of scope for the training, because the purpose of the training is to give you the tool to enable you to make progress on your own. But of course, if there are such questions that need to be covered, myself and Sol are happy to maybe to assist. But strictly speaking, it's out of scope for the purposes of this training, because the purpose is to equip you, not to coach. Those are two different things.
Maybe if I could add to what Colead said, in your evaluation form, there's still a portion for in case you need coaching. That since you need something more better to be explained for you, something that are personal, is still there in the evaluation. Take note of it. And what you are saying also is relevant, like what Colead said. In the course of our discussion, you will discover we seldom use the PowerPoint. It is peer-to-peer learning, bringing relevant issues. You could say I've brought that question up also. But what I'm saying in essence that the case study that are written before, if all participants have to write case studies on their own and send it out, will not be able to achieve it. So when you have a specific need, after the coaching, after this training, there's a place for coaching. Feel it, and I'm sure Colead will respond to it. But it's good to actually bring it out. But I just need to clarify it that each participant cannot write just case studies and send it to the whole group. Thank you so much. Thomas, any question? Challenge? We have about 15 minutes.
No question for me. Thank you.
No question for me.
Thomas?
No question.
Everybody will talk.
Okay. Sola, for me, I'm really happy that I came as an office, but now I can explain some few accounting and corporate finance. And my take home, the training I will implement to improve my business and make it grow much better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas. Godfrey?
Okay, also like to appreciate for the trainers and what they have given us. And I think now I can now look at my financial statements, interpret them, then make informed decisions as far as looking for funding is concerned. Because although I was in the process of looking for funding, and now I know where to begin from, and I not make any mistake like getting the wrong type of funding for maybe for the right purpose. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So Dr. Shido, what's your takeaway? Dr. Shido, what's your takeaway from this training? While we are waiting for Dr. Shido, Pauline? Okay, Dr. Shido, she can't speak. You can send the text and I will read out. Pauline?
My take home is the importance of managing the minute details of finance in the business, because we spend a lot of energy trying to perfect quality, the processes, and make sure there is money coming in, money going out. But at the same time, we assume that the general financial health of the business is sales and making sure you're able to meet your creditors. But also there's a lot of knowledge hidden that we need to focus on.
Thank you so much, Pauline. Paul? Then I will come to Jacobo. Jacobo, you can come on board while we are waiting for Paul, and then Martin.
For about 2 days now, I've been on the insurance and the agricultural risk. So I was able to understand the importance of insurance on businesses and then associated risks that need to be catered for. That's it.
Thank you. Talent, your hands is up. Let me read Dr. Shido and Paul's response. Dr. Shido said, take home about the importance of financial ratios and how to interpret them and their limitations. Paul said, my takeaway is that management of finance is an ongoing exercise. Thank you. Talent?
Okay, thank you, sir. First and foremost, I think I just want to express gratitude to you guys, the trainers, Kriya and yourself, Sola, for the time that you spend trying to explain to us the concept. For me, the take home, which I always remember, is that first and foremost, it is very important to have the information regarding to corporate finance. Usually, as SMEs, we're not really well up.
Thank you, Talent. Frederick, what's your take home? Then I come to Mohammed. Frederick, your take home. And I come to Mohammed.
Issues of type.
Mohammed, you can speak.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thanks to Colead for this wonderful platform and helping us to get clarity on the topic. This program with like 5% knowledge on finance, and throughout the 4 weeks, I've been able to actually understand what it means. So the need for financing in particular SMEs, and the factors one has to consider is selecting the source of finance, and how these finances could be managed, and most importantly, how one could be able to communicate the progress of his business through financial statements, and above all, the issue of understanding insurances and their role in helping SMEs to grow. So this knowledge obtained throughout the session and through the group exercises we undertook, and also the material he shared with us, are up to expectation, and a lot has been done so far. But I would also like to close again this my comment with encouraging you guys to look at how you could improve on access to the platform, because we had 1 or 2 issues with respect to accessing the platform in terms of password and other issues. Although I learned that you are trying to upgrade and all of these, I hope that one could be settled, and I'm sure other people also enjoy this particular class. So thank you so far.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Emery Yakubu said, thank you, Lushola, Kireya, and Colead for this wonderful training. We shall apply what has been learned. Thank you so much, Yakubu. Maybe before I hand over to Kireya, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you also. I know by virtue of your position, heading an organization and running a training for 2 hours, face-to-face, I'm virtual, and still working and still doing assignment, it's a whole lot of demand on you. For you to be able to attend for about 80%, I know it's a lot of sacrifice, and because it's your interest in knowledge. I want to say thank you for cooperating. Kireya and myself will have been here. If we're not here, the objective of the training wouldn't have been accomplished also. And also, I want to plead with you. We have given you information. It is not enough. It's about the application of those information That's what will lead to in transformation and productivity of your business. So for me, I can say 40% of the work has been done. The other 60% is in your hand, the application. And what will make us be happy at the end is to discover that your businesses are making waves and growing. And we can now say that the training has accomplished its ultimate result. Once again, I say thank you. Over to Korea.
Thank you very much, Sola. Frederick has written something. He says, my takeaway is revenue generation is key for successful SME, and good financial statements is a resource to leverage for access to attract investment into the business. Thank you for that. So thank you all also for your consistency and for your participation, your eagerness to learn. So like my colleague says, it's over to you to apply, to implement, but I'm sure if there are specific issues that need to be addressed, and I want to thank Dr. Chido specifically for that, it would be a good thing to reach out to Colead to request for additional support, one-on-one support. But other than that, I trust that we found the whole engagement useful. And my final bit is to urge us to complete our assignments in due time. For some, I think we've given a bit of feedback for the first assignment. I personally gave a bit of feedback, so if I get feedback and you've not responded, I urge you to respond and post on and upload the revised assignment so that we can finish with the grading process. But on my part, thank you very much. And we also have assignments. We also need you to complete the quizzes on the forum, and we also need to have you comment, have your comments on the forum, so that we can keep engaging. One good aspect about this kind of training is that you get also to learn from your peers. Right. So Frederick, your hand is up.
Yes, I want to request that you give us 2 weeks from today to complete all the assignments and the quizzes so we can be graded.
2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Frederick, please, can I plead with you also, if we can make it 1 week, because we equally had to write a report, and without you completing it, we can't conclude our report. And we don't want a situation whereby we don't recommend you for your certificate. And if all those things are not completed, it becomes challenging for us to actually recommend. And this one goes along with our report writing also. And that's why myself and Korea, we have been saying from beginning, they need to keep doing the assignment as they come on board. Because we don't have the legacy of 2-3 weeks after the training before we submit the report. We are working with a timeline also. So we want to plead with you, let it be maximum of 1 week so that we can do the needful and so that others can collect their certificate also. If we don't do your own and we don't submit our reports, nobody can collect their certificates. If we do it today, I can assure you by Monday or Tuesday, it is possible for you to pick your certificate. But if any one of you delayed, then we can't make a recommendation. So I want to play with you. Let's make it maximum of 1 week from now so that we can do the needful also. Thank you, Frederick.
Okay.
Bring another thing, otherwise we close.
Yes, I think we're good to go. So goodbye and enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much.
Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Goodbye, Jacobo, Frederick, Martin, Shido, Thomas, Godfrey, Pauline, Paul. So goodbye, Mohammed.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Kirinya. Bye, Sola. Thank you for everything.